Hi everyone, my name is John Conway and I'm a functional lead here at PwC Canada. It's my absolute pleasure today to walk you through the initiation and the completion of a manifest within the Hazardous Waste program. In this session, I will be demonstrating the functionality of both the mobile application, as seen here on the left-hand side of my screen, and the desktop application, as seen on the right-hand side. So I will draw attention to the screen that I'm using at any one time, but if you're finding either of these screens hard to read because of their size, then I do recommend opening this video into a full screen view. So for a bit of context before we begin, I have logged in as the same user here, but on two different screens. And the purpose for this is so that I can highlight how any of the steps that are taken in the registry can be represented in both interfaces at the same time. So as we go through the session, I will be jumping between representing a generator, a carrier, and a receiver of the waste being shipped. Now to begin, we're logged in as the carrier in both the mobile and the desktop experiences. Mobile application, you can see here we're logged in as Stephen Brown from Evans Transport. And then on the desktop application, Stephen Brown from Evans Transport. So here on the manifest dashboard, you can see a list of manifests that your company has been assigned as a manifest party for. So you can see that there's one manifest that we're associated with so far, and it currently has the status of in transit. As I said, for the purposes of this demo, we will actually initiate and complete a brand new manifest. Now, the manifest can be initiated by any party with any role, but for this scenario, we're representing Stephen Brown, who's playing the carrier party. And I'm going to start by initiating the manifest from the mobile application. So I do that by clicking on the New Manifest button at the top right of the screen here. Step one is to select the generator of the waste being transported. I can click on the selection box here labeled Select Generator. And as indicated by the help text, I can search for a generator by certain terms: the generator number, the company name, the facility name, or the facility location. So let's say that I know the name of the site. I can start writing that in here. And as I type, you can see that my results are automatically updated to show me those which match my search term here. So I can select my facility, the Red Robin Waste Facility, by selecting it once and then pressing select to add it to my manifest. So now that the generator has been selected, I can move on to selecting the carrier. Now I am the carrier in this instance, but again, I want to show how you can search for a carrier by clicking on the select carrier. And you can see at the top of the page here how I can search by an ECA number, company name, mailing address, or the email. Now in this particular scenario, I know the ECA, and so I'm going to write that in. So once again, as I was writing it in, the search results have automatically updated for me. I can select the one I want and then press select. So I can also view the contact information that's been included on this particular ECA by looking down here. I can also select the view contact and vehicle information to do exactly that. I can review the contact and the vehicle information included. So here's where I can add in information about the transporting vehicle too. So I can make some changes to this pre-filled information, and I can click under the registration number field here to enter in the registration details for my vehicle. And I can select a province or a state from the drop-down menu, like so. So I'm going to click on Save here. Now we do need to go through and add in the selected intended receiver, but just wanted to take a quick second to show that if I refresh my screen here on the desktop application, remembering that I'm still logged in as the same user in both experiences. I'm still logged in as Stephen Brown on the mobile application on the left and as Stephen Brown on the desktop on the right. Just want to point out that the manifest has been initiated down here and it's currently sitting at a status of draft. But we're going to continue on the process on the mobile application for now. So let's select that receiver. So I'm going to click on the select intended receiver. And much the same as what we've done before, but for this one, I will search by the address of the receiving site. So once more, I'll just start typing in my address. There we go, and I can select the Hanover landfill as my receiver, like so. So now that information has been entered, we can click on the Next-Add Waste Information button. And the first part of our waste information is to enter in the shipment details. So just take a second to point out that any of these fields that you see that are marked with a red asterisk, they're actually required fields, and you will not be able to proceed until all of those required fields have been filled in. And you can see at the bottom here how the Ready for Shipment button has been grayed out. So let's select a scheduled shipment date. We can update the pre-filled date here. It's automatically defaulted to today's date, so I can just change that to the scheduled shipment date to December 25th. Let's change the arrival date to the 26th, like so. If there are any special handling instructions, then I can enter that information here under the special handling section. For this particular scenario, I'm not going to include any information here. And likewise for the 24-hour emergency contact number and the additional TGG information, those are optional fields that I could enter in information for too. Under the waste information section at the bottom of the mobile application here, I can click on the select waste. And I'm brought to a list of applicable waste streams that are associated with the generator facility that I had already selected. So as you can see, there are two waste streams associated with my generator facility here. One has a waste number of 143B, the other has a waste number of 231B. Now with the assumption that there could be quite a long list of active waste streams associated with the generator facility, there's a couple of ways that you can filter down this list of results to try and identify the waste streams you're looking for this particular manifest. You can search for a waste type by clicking in the Search Waste Type field up above. And let's say I started writing in the word steel. You can see how my results have been filtered down below me just to show that one waste stream there. So I'll clear that results out. I'll also show you the second way, where you can click on the Advanced Filters button, like so, and you can see how you can filter down that full list of waste streams by waste class, primary characterization, physical state, and also the hazardous waste number too. Now for this particular manifest, there are only two waste streams associated with my generator facility, so that's nice and easy. Ultimately, I'm going to select both of these, but I'll show you what happens when you select one at a time. We're going to select our 143B first. So I've highlighted that and then clicked on the select button here. So now you can see that particular waste, all of the information has been added below this waste information section here. So I can review some details about the waste class, the waste type, the hazardous waste number. And then I'm brought to a section where I can input details for the shipping information. Now you will note that some of the information here has already been pre-filled. The generator for this particular facility, for this particular waste stream, has already added in certain fields associated with this waste stream, which ultimately is going to save quite a lot of time when you come through to manifesting. So any change, of course you can review the information here, you can make any changes to these fields as well. As indicated by the red asterisks, only some of these fields are actually required. So we can go through, we can review, and we can change some of these as well. What we do need to enter here is we do need to enter in the quantity shipped and the units. That will not have been pre-filled for us. So let's put in a quantity shipped here, and then by selecting in the units field, I can select kilograms. Now that was only for one waste stream. As I said, I do want to add in both waste streams. So back a little bit further up the page here, you can see this Add Another Waste link. If I click on that Add Another Waste link, I'm brought back to being able to select the waste. Last time I selected 143B, this time let's select 231B. So I'm going to highlight it and click on Select. Now you see as I scroll down the page here, that second waste stream has been added here under a collapsed accordion, this green bar at the bottom. If I click on that green bar, it's going to expand that for me, like so, so I can add in information about my shipping information, and that first waste class has been reduced into a collapsed bar. Again, we're working on the assumption there could be quite a lot of waste streams that are associated with this particular manifest at once, so rather than having a really long scroll, this just makes it a little bit quicker and easier to navigate through. Now for that second waste stream, the 231B, you'll see that the information was not pre-filled by the generator. So I can go through and manually enter in all the information that I need here at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter in a UN number. I know that's an optional field, but I'm going to enter that in as an example. So I'm going to write in UN 1415. And then I'm going to enter in my shipping name for this particular waste, which will be lithium. Of course, we do need to enter in our quantity shipped and the units, which I can do like so, and select my units. So when I'm done at this point, I can indicate that I've entered in all of the information that I need to, and indicate that the relevant parties can start signing by clicking on the Ready for Shipment button. Now that this particular button's been clicked, you will see that I'm being taken back to the dashboard where my manifest appears. Here it is, and you can see it has a status of awaiting signatures. So at this point, the manifest can be signed by both the generator and the carrier who's been listed on the manifest. So let's go back in and we'll just refresh our desktop application here, like so. Just to show that as I've refreshed that, you can see the same status and same information is being reflected on the desktop too. So let's just have a look at what reviewing the information on a manifest looks like at this point. So I'm jumping back to the mobile application, and I'm going to jump into this manifest that ends in the number 32. That's the new one that we've just created, just by clicking on it. And you'll see that I'm brought into a review screen. So here on the mobile application, I can review all of the information that I've entered. I can scroll down and look through the generator, carrier, and receiver information. I can select waste at the top here to review information about the waste and the vehicle as well. So once I've reviewed all of that information and I'm happy with that, I can click to sign it myself by clicking on the Sign Manifest button at the bottom. There's a short attestation just to say that I've reviewed that information. So I'll check that box and click on Confirm, and I'll be met with a pop-up modal to say that's been done. So in this particular scenario, if I was creating the manifest myself as a carrier and I was already present at the generator facility, it's at this point that I can pass my device over to the generator who's standing there with me to provide their electronic signature too. So this process is extremely easy. You're just going to click on the Get Generator Signature, and you can see there's a pop-up here where you can get the details of the generator who can sign for the manifest. You'll get the full name, their phone number, and then they can draw in their signature like so as well. So extremely easy to grab the generator's signature at this point as well. I'm actually not going to go through this process on the mobile application because I want to walk through a couple more things on the desktop side as well. So let's refresh our desktop. Just make sure we're up to date here. Okay, so just a reminder once more that I'm logged in Stephen Brown. This is our carrier, and you can see, great, our status here is sitting as awaiting generator signature. So let's have a look at what this actually looks like as a generator. So I'm going to change over to the generator's perspective. Let me refresh this dashboard as well for them. So as a generator, I'm logged in as Marie Ramirez from Canadian Appliances. So I'm a different person at a different company at this point. And I can see that there is a manifest down below with this new one ending in 32 with the status of awaiting generator signature. So with the assumption that there could be many manifests going on at any one time, we've included this only display manifests that require my company's action toggle, like so. So this exists on the mobile and the desktop application too. But if I click on this, it's going to show me exactly that. It's only showing those manifests that require my attention at that time to provide a signature or review some information on there. So I'll uncheck that just to show a full list of manifests here. Some of the other tools that are available to us to be able to filter down the list of manifests that you're seeing here is we can search through our manifest by entering a search term in this field here. There's also filters that are available too. So if I click on the Add Filters, I can put in some detailed information about the particular manifest that I'm looking for and click on Apply Filters, and that will filter down the list of manifests that show in this table as well. So again, remembering that I'm logged in as a generator, as Marie from Canadian Appliances here, I can have a look at the manifest itself, and I can review the information about the manifest and of course the waste itself, and then sign when I'm ready. So on this review page, I have a little bit of a status information here to say there's a waiting generator signature, and some instructions here just to say that it contains all the required information. It's ready for the generator and carrier to sign at this point. So there is a sign manifest button here to do so, but I'm just going to walk through reviewing the information under the overview tab like so. Information about my generator, my carrier, my receiver. I can click on the waste button here, and then that will allow me as a generator to review information about the waste which is included on this manifest too. So let's say that I've reviewed all of that information like so, and I'm happy with that. As the generator, I can click on the Sign Manifest button. So I have an attestation to confirm. Click on Confirm. Brilliant. So this is now going to move into an in-transit status. So we'll jump back to our carrier, Steve Brown, on the mobile application. So I'll just take Steve back to the dashboard here. Do you want to point out this really handy feature at the top of the page here where I can tap to update the manifest list? And if I click to update that, you can see, there you go, our handy manifest ending in 32 has now updated to being in transit as well. So now when Steve has arrived at the receiving site, he can indicate that the waste has been dropped off. So I'll jump into the manifest again, and he can confirm that this waste has been dropped off by clicking on this Confirm Drop Off button at the bottom of the page here. So you can click on that. I'm showing an attestation here again, and then I can click Confirm to say that this particular waste has been dropped off. There you go, drop off has been confirmed. Great. So now the manifest has been updated to saying awaiting receiver signature. Okay, so at this point, we're going to introduce our final party into the mix here. We're going to introduce our receiver. So once more, I'm going to do this on the desktop side of the application. So on the desktop side of the application, like so, I'm going to refresh this page as well. And I'm going to show the dashboard as a new person, as Alexandra Scott from Hanover Landfill, and that is a receiver. So again, we can see that there is a manifest here that's awaiting the receiver signature, and I can click into it like so. So this review page you'll be getting fairly familiar with here. You can see when that our attention is being brought to something which requires our input. See the status fields at the top here, and of course our tracking information. So our tracking information is going to be visible to all of our manifest parties as well. And it's a really super feature to be able to show you what user from what company took what action at what date and at what time. So you can see here that we've got when the manifest was signed by the carrier, when it was signed by the generator, when it was actually dropped off, and the person who actually took those actions, and the name of the company that they work for as well. Okay, so Alexandra, she can't yet click to say to sign for this particular manifest because she needs to review each of the wastes first before signing the manifest. So as we scroll down the page here, of course Alexandra can review the information associated with the manifest on that first page, but the waste page is where she can actually review the details of each of those wastes. So I've clicked on the waste tab. You see this is loaded here, and you can see these orange hazard icons are bringing Alexandra's attention to where a decision is required by her, and she can accept or refuse that information here. Now, for the purpose of this scenario, I am going to accept the waste. So I click on the Accept button here, and that opens up the Accept Waste modal. Now you see at the top of the page here that we have reviewed 0 out of the 2 wastes here. And by default, when I clicked on Accept, it's opening up the Accept Waste and showing me the Accept Waste fields. Had I selected Refuse, the page would look like this. So if I selected Refused, I'd be prompted to put in a refusal reason. Now for the purpose of this scenario, we are going to accept the waste. So I click on accept waste. I can see the waste class, the quantity shipped, and I'm prompted to enter in the quantity received and a handling code. To save some time, I can click on the copy quantity shipped. You can see that that information from the quantity shipped fields is populated under the quantity received fields now, and I can select a handling code from the drop-down menu like so. Once I'm happy with that page, I can click on save, and I will be brought to the next waste that requires my review. As we know for this particular manifest, there are actually 2 waste streams. So for our second waste stream, 231 latex waste, once more I could copy the quantity shipped fields by clicking on that. It's populated into my quantity received, and I'm going to add a handling code of secure landfill. So I'll click on save at this point, and now all of my wastes have been reviewed. So we're not quite done yet. Now that the wastes have been reviewed, now is the time when I can actually provide my signature as the receiver. So you'll see now there is a sign manifest button on the right hand side, and the status has been updated to awaiting receiver signature. So at this point I can actually click on sign manifest. So I'll go through the attestation and click on confirm, and you'll see that the status is going to be updated to completed. There we go, our status has been updated to completed, and you can see the tracking information has also been updated to say that Alexander has signed the manifest and the date and time at which that happened. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen this download PDF button on the right hand side, so I'm happy enough to click on this download PDF button and show you what the PDF function looks like. So I've clicked on download PDF, it's going to my downloads folder, and if I click in here, it should open this up as a PDF. So what this is doing is showing us all of the information that had been included on the manifest in a PDF format. So you can scroll through, resize, you can save, print this information as you wish, and this is available to all of our manifest parties as well. Okay. So now I'm going to navigate back to the dashboard here. Oh, sorry, let me try and get rid of this. Okay, so I've navigated back to this page here as our generator. So I'm going to refresh this page so that I can show that the generator is going to see that the manifest has been completed as well. Great. So you'll see that it's not actually showing up under the Open Manifest tab, which has been highlighted here. So it doesn't show here, remembering our manifest number ends in a 3-2, but this is now being moved to a Closed Manifest tab here. So there we have it. The manifest that ends in 3-2 has been completed, so it's no longer considered to be an open manifest, and it now exists under this Closed Manifest tab. Again, with the idea that we're trying to clean up the tables that could get quite long and extensive with a number of manifests that are in progress or require actions. So once they're completed, they're closed and moved over to this Closed tab like so. So as a generator, I'm going to click into the manifest itself. I just want to highlight one of the differences that the generator is going to see compared to the receivers. So the generator here is going to see this registry fee payment box 2 with the fee amount that will be due. And as the text here indicates, this will be invoice 4 at the end of the current month. So that exists there. If I go back to that dashboard, just like to highlight that that particular invoice will become available at the end of the month by clicking on this Invoices tab. Now before I leave the mobile application, just want to point out that if I go back to the dashboard for this one and click on Tap to Update Manifest List, again, just a reminder that our mobile application on the left-hand side, this is from the carrier's perspective, and you can see that our manifest here has been completed, the one ending in 3-2, but again, as a carrier, I can still click into it and review all of the information about the completed manifest here on the mobile application. in much the same way that I can do as any other manifest party on the desktop application as well. So this actually concludes our demonstration today. I really hope that that proved very useful for everybody. I sincerely thank you all for your attention, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day.